Welcome to Deleted Saves. On this episode, Contra on the NES. The 1980s was filled with a sense of big. Big hair, big music, big world-shaking events, and of course, big action in media, specifically movies, but also in the growing market of video games. Contra, released on home console in 1988, was no different. It was game developer staple Konami taking the movies Aliens, and Predator, tossing them in a blender together, and finally sieving the remains through the films First Blood and Commando. The sci-fi action shooter was certainly intense, definitely challenging, but would likely have been left in the dustbin of history were it not for a debugging program left in the game's coding. In the base game, Contra gave the player 5 lives, each lost as soon as an enemy hit you, and 3 continues. The sprites were small and the background somewhat generic, broken up by a few interesting vertical sections and wacky boss fights that utilized early 3D effects. The characters themselves were bare-chested and only differentiated by blue or red sweatpants and sweatpans, and each carried a gun that streamed endless shots. There were pickups that modified the bullets the gun fired, marked only by a single letter, so you didn't know what they did until you picked up one and saw what color and pattern of Christmas lights launched out of the screen. Very few of us got past the 3rd or 4th level with this configuration alone. But the thing that separated Contra from the pack was a complete accident. It became known as the Konami Code, and it was all the talk of early gaming magazines and schoolyard legends in the days before the internet. For those of you who may be unaware, game manufacturer Konami had an in-house debugging code so that QA testers could easily skip levels to check for issues before release. They used this code across all of its games at the time, with each game having a different result. For Contra, the code gave the player or players, as this was a 1 to 2 player game, a whopping 30 lives each. And this is what propelled Contra from generic coin-op port to gaming legend. Once it was leaked to the public, it could not be stopped. And the code is, and say it with me now, folks, up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA, start. Damn right. Can't remember my bank account number, basic algebra, or the state capitals, but I'll remember that shit till I die. It'll probably be the last thing I'll scream in the old folks' home before they pull the plug on me. If you ever seen a meme or a gag t-shirt with that on it but didn't know what it meant or where it came from, well, now you know. The Konami Code entered, my friends and I began a whirlwind adventure of shoot-'em-up fun, carving a righteous path of humanity's vengeance through hordes of alien soldiers, robotic killers, and ever-increasingly weird threats from beyond the stars as the xenoform menace attempted to set up shop on Earth. Literally, the final level was so much like an Aliens ripoff it would have given Sigourney Weaver flashbacks. Afterward, the titanic alien heart and swarm defeated, exploding into a mass of pixelated goo, we sat around the living room, a bunch of 10 and 11-year-olds feeling like badasses. We knew the code. We could easily dust this game. Quick, let's start over. The 1980s were a hell of a drug, man. But that's really it. Up to this point, I had not been able to finish a video game. I would either give up in frustration or forget about the game I was playing when something shinier and newer came along. But it was Contra and the Konami Code that gave me a sense of accomplishment. The knowledge that I could actually beat one of these damn things finally, either alone or with friends. Sure, video games were just simple entertainment, considered by many to be harmful trash and easily disposed of, a thought that still exists even today, and even among game publishers. Yes, I'm looking at you, Konami. But for me, it was one more brick in the wall of self-confidence. A small brick, perhaps, a pebble compared to other things, but every little stone counts at that age. Thank you for listening.